fighting spirit of Indians and the whole world against this deadly battle, I have with me two very special guests. They are very inspiring panelists, and to introduce them, I would first like to start off with a few lines. In the darkest of clouds and heaviest of rain, they hold the baton and lead the lane. Struggling to survive, yet ready to dare, they become the rainbow of compassion and care. They may falter, but will rise again, because fighters always choose hope over gain, over pain, I mean to say. So, two such fighters are Sangeeta Chatlani and Ritika Jaiswal. A very warm welcome to both of you. So, first of all, let me start off with Sangeeta. Hello, Sangeeta, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, Sneha.
Okay. So, Sangeeta, you're in Mumbai, and Mumbai has been one of the worst hit cities during the pandemic, especially during this second wave. Would you like to share some typical crises and challenges that women across the board are facing in India right now?
Yes, sure. Basically, at this moment, women have been really suppressed, violated. It's been a terrible thing. My helpline doesn't stop ringing literally. I have cases all the time from slum area women, from well-to-do families, men bashing them. I think it's because they've got so much time. People have got so much time on their hands, and instead of protecting their families, some people are just not getting the severity of the situation. Another thing is that women's careers have taken a backlog because now they're expected to run the house, cook, clean, and work from home. Some people look after children, some people look after their in laws, their parents. It's just been a really big letdown for women.
Yeah, so since not just women, everybody is in it together actually. So this
Yes, yes,
problem, I think, is being faced by even men. So let's acknowledge that as well. Uh,
yes.
Now, moving on to Ritika. Ritika, we are very blessed to have you here with us today, and I know that you are a counselor now, but that's not how you started, right? You started off as an NIFT graduate. So, would you like to briefly tell us about few aspects of your life that you could share with us?
Yeah, sure. Can you see me first? Am I in the frame?
You're not in the frame, actually. You're a bit on the.
Sorry, this is
Uh,
all too new to me. Yeah. So I'm trying to, but I think it just
I
keeps
think
moving.
you're moving it in the. Yeah, now it's fine. Yes.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me here. Yes, the journey's been on through from point A to point. I think I'm only at point X, not Z at the moment. The journey's been from fashion industry to research to banking, corporate banking, and then private banking, and then it's gone on to counseling. The only way, without boring you guys, I would say life gives you lemons and you make lemonade, and you just laugh about it then, because there's no point in whinging about it. I've got this degree, and why am I not using that degree? I think I'm using the practical knowledge of my MBA and my passion in everything that I do. So yes, as life progressed, through its challenges as a woman, as a daughter, as a wife, as a chronic patient, I accepted it and I just moved the direction ever so slightly.
Okay, so you indeed have a very inspirational life, and you're a counselor, and your calling is to help the vulnerable. So you've also started a group that I'm aware of during the pandemic to help people. So if you could share some details about that group with us, it will be really helpful for people around who are looking for help.
Sure, most certainly. I think I'm a non-resident Indian, and I came to India after good 20-25 years. 2 years ago, when my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and it was like one day I'm in England and the next day I'm rushed and I'm here. And I really struggled with the Indian medical system and everything else as well, because it was just trying to get my head around uh, getting a taxi services. The cookies were disabled on my phone. So when as they what happened with the pandemic last week, a friend of mine, she lost her mother and they had to be, not to make it morbid, but it was quite bad. It affected me so badly, and I'm a chronic pain sufferer myself, and I've had a flare ups. I was on bed, I was thinking I'm not able to do anything. What do I do? So I kind of lemonades again, did the same thing as I always do. I personally started this venture thinking I'll help my NRI friends, and day three, it just went boom because the Indians, local peoples joined in, and the requests coming in for plasma for all the ground needs started so much that though the NRI side is still there, that took over as well. So that's how this came about. I'm a Buddhist myself, so everything that I do in my life is around the principle of being one with my environment. It's called Ishofuni. So you are one with your environment. If your environment is happy, you're happy. If your environment is unsettled, I can't be sitting inside and watching Netflix and be very, very happy. Though you have to do that as well. So that's where the WhatsApp group started. Now we are at the full strength. We're looking at parallel, WhatsApp groups. There's so many volunteers like yourself, Sneha. Thank you so much, who have joined in and who are just spending so much of time and helping me out. There's people on the ground level, my friends who are doctors, who are silently helping out as and when they're frontline warriors. They're coming in and chipping in and just, everybody's doing their bits now. It's we've got to at this point in time. So you can always reach out to me as and when you want. Yeah.
So, from what I understand, Ritika, everyone is very keen to help in these times. And in these times, if we get someone who can aggregate us, who can connect us together, it's always convenient to seek and provide help both, right? So that's where I think your group is a helping hand to all of us who want to help and who need help. So now moving on to Sangeeta, actually. Sangeeta, we were talking about vulnerable. It could be people who are not well, or people who are abused, who are into some kind of toxic relationship, or any such kind. I just wanted to understand, since you are doing a lot of things for them, so how are you helping the vulnerable women?
Right. So we have a national helpline for women, and we have a legal team. We get police help. We have caseworkers, psychologists. They're all ready at hand, waiting for these calls and to handle these cases and help these women. There is the vacation court that's going on at the moment because normal court is not functional, so vacational court is going on. So lawyers are at hand. We have high court lawyers, we have normal court lawyers. The whole system is in place, and we're just taking in calls and helping as many people as possible. But rather than even just the domestic violence, a lot of our team members and myself personally, we are helping the COVID crisis. It's a really major crisis. And I think because of that, everything else has come to a standstill. So not just women, we are helping men, transgenders, we are helping kids, we are helping all across the
Wow,
board. We're there for everyone. Yes. We're
that's
helping with
really
mental
nice to
health. Yes. So in the next question, I'll answer all the other details about how we're helping.
hear. Yeah, okay, sure. So now moving on to Ritika first. Ritika, you've been suffering from physical and emotional issues as well, right? So if you're comfortable sharing with us so that others can get inspired, as in how did you turn those problems into something which instead of becoming a boon, bane became a boon for you. So if you can share that with us.
I am a chronic pain sufferer now, but at that time, it was like a lot of invisible illnesses. You get a lot of stigma attached to it, and I think Sangeeta can vouch for that. It's invisible illnesses, smaller communities, minorities. We all have some one thing in common, we are not understood. So I started onto that journey with my health issues that started cropping up 15 days after I got married. I was paralytic in my left leg. It took 2 years of rehabilitation, and I was in a very, very good position that time. I had to let go of that, and then I couldn't work in the city, I couldn't run around, and I was in the wheelchair. And my mother, who's a feisty woman, you talk about Narayanis and Durgas, she's one of them, and she's battling stage 4 right now, and every morning she gives us hope. So just digressing there, so she's kind of the centripetal point of my life always, and if she can do it, why can't I? She called me one day and I said, Mama, in the wheelchair, I'm just newly married. I want to be decking up, and what do I do? She says, your brain is not gone. Can you not do a PhD? Can you not learn? Don't cry. Do something about it. Hello? Am I still there?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
you're there. And we
So
were listening about your
that's
mom and how push you have
yes.
become because of her. Go ahead.
So it was because of her, and she says, "Fine, you're on the wheelchair. So what? The wheelchair's wheels go round and round. Huh? Your brain is still working. Why can't you study and do something else? Why do you have to keep doing fashion? You can do something else." So that's how I came into universities, researching with the universities. She was a cancer survivor, so I devoted 2 years because again, I've become a Buddhist only recently, like 6 years ago. But I've had this principle that I've got to be one with my environment always, be one with my community that I'm living in. And I feel very strongly about elderly people not being taken care of, loneliness. Everybody's so lonely, and I'd always felt very strongly about that. And people like myself who are in and out of wheelchair because of a chronic condition, we look very good one minute, and the next minute we are like kind of tossed around. So it was very difficult to battle with it, with the GPs, with the NHS, though eventually I got all the support that I could. But at that point in time, I had to change my career to something that would adapt. So I worked for cancer research for 2 years. Um, and I went on doing one thing after another. Then corporate banking came along. And again, I had another flare up. I was back in wheelchair. And this time around, again, my mother is like, don't cry, don't come to me crying. And I'm like, okay, mom, give me some sympathy for 5 minutes. But no, she did not give me that sympathy. And I hate her for that. Today, also, I've had a very big fight because, please give me a little bit of compassion. She doesn't. So that's how I kept changing my profession with regards to compassion and gratitude. These two things are so important in my life. For what I've got gratitude, and for others who can't give it to me, I've got compassion. But then I've got this courage. I have to keep fighting. And that is one thing that I would like to put a message across to all my um, friends out there who are listening, because it's important. As a woman, you have so many challenges, like Sangeeta, you were saying, you're a mother one minute, and you just have so many challenges, so many roles to kind of fit into. uh, if you have courage and you just follow what you're doing, then does that answer your question, Sneha?
Yes, actually. So I was just, in my head noting down the takeaways for our audience. So, two things. Moms are always very strict, but they are the ones who provide us with that power to go on ahead in our lives, whatever stage we are in, however old we have become. So, that is one. And the other thing is gratitude, courage, and compassion. One must have all these three qualities to have that empathy and work with the community and with their ecosystem so that they and the ecosystem can sustain together, right?
And all this while, the string that holds it all together is hope. The one string that holds
Yeah,
everything
absolutely.
together through your ups and downs, through your thick and thins, is hope. You need to get up every morning and kick your heels together and say, there is hope. There is always hope. And then something else, I don't know how the cosmos works, something else is created, and there's an opportunity that will come to you in the right way.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true. And today, every day we get up in the morning in itself is a blessing. So we just should express that gratitude toward whatever faith or that superpower we believe into, or maybe it's our parents, our own willpower, or anything. We just need to have that gratitude. That's right. Now, moving on to Sangeeta. Sangeeta, as Ritika has been covering about community, compassion, and on these similar lines, you are also engaged and involved in a lot of NGO related activities. You have been working with NGOs as well. So, can you give us a flavor of that aspect as well?
Sure, yes. So I'm a part of two NGOs. One of them, we run the Maharashtra Anti Domestic Violence Helpline for. And then there's another NGO that I'm heading at the moment where we, help the slum area people, help educate them, create, empower them, teach them certain skills to go out and earn a living with dignity. We also have a lot of webinars on for women like ourselves, housewives also, where we teach them skills and make them aware of certain health issues. We we have something that we're doing for teachers at the moment. We have stuff going on all the time. But my specific interest is when we go out into the world and we help the needy people, the homeless people, the slum area people. Yeah.
So, how do you do that? If you take any one example, may it be teachers or be it slum area people, if you can give us an example how you actually do it on ground.
Right. So at the moment, we have a food drive going on because of the COVID situation. Many people have lost their jobs. A lot of people who were giving food to these homeless people are not able to do that anymore. So this is where we come in, and we're supporting around 100 people a day and providing one meal a day to them, providing toiletries and sanitary items. We're also helping in hospitals by giving them certain kind of equipment that they may not have the funding for. Another thing is we're helping patients, COVID patients. At the moment, we're helping them find beds in hospitals because there's a shortage of beds at the moment. There's a shortage of oxygen, so we're helping them get oxygen. Hospitals themselves are running out of oxygen, so we're helping hospitals get oxygen, ventilators, medication, everything. We're helping them with everything. We're getting funding from public as well, so that really, really helps, and we put all the funding we get towards these causes.
That's actually good. So when you say you're arranging for all these medical facilities, as in medication-related facilities, and even the daily life stuff, maybe food or toiletries. So, are you the volunteers who are doing this, or even the agencies? I'm not sure if the manufacturers. Do you have tie-ups with the organizations or just the individuals?
We are just individuals. We're an NGO. We have a team of around 30 to 40 people, and each of us just goes out and helps. Like, we are a part of groups, like how Ritika has a group. We have a couple of other groups. We have our own groups, and we get inquiries on there for patients who need plasma, patients who need hospital beds, ICU beds, ventilators. So we pick those up and we make the calls on a personal level, and we search for these their requirements around the city or even the state, and now it's becoming the country because everybody's suffering so much that Bombay people are helping Bangalore people, they're helping Delhi people, Bangalore people, Delhi people are helping Bombay people. We've all just come together so positively to just help each other survive, live. That's exactly what we're doing.
That's really great to know that a group of certain people who do not really who are not that powerful. They just have that willpower and that passion to help others. Uh, are coming together to help a lot of people. So many groups are going on nowadays. People are sharing some numbers and related to oxygen or probably medication or injections. So It's really good that you're doing that on ground so that people can trust and have that authentic information from you, and not just information, supplies as well. It's really good. Now moving
Thank
to
you.
Ritika. Ritika, you just mentioned, a little while back that you have started following Nichiren Buddhism. So, can you let us know what exactly is it?
Nichiren Buddhism, yes. First of all, Sangeeta, well done. And I've seen your work, and you've been supporting me so much because I was having COVID symptoms last couple of days, and as you guys know, my oxygen went to 72, 78. And her organization was just out there helping me. Exactly what she's doing, I was trying to do all alone, and then all of these lovely ladies and boys joined in. So coming to Nichiren Buddhism, it's kind of the centripetal point in my life. It has always been, I think, from times and times ago. It's a lay organization called Soka Gakkai, which means creating value by transforming our internal self first and then the external. So we do not look out to others to change our lives. We take the stance. We are all leaders. We are all senseis, as we say in Japanese. So this is Shakyamuni Buddha, Lord Buddha, as we know in India. His last Lotus Sutra that was preached. It's based on that. So it's a Japanese monk who kindly, in the 13th century, gave it back to India. That sutra was lost. So it basically kind of says that everything is in between within us. We are. It also helps us understand that each one of us is a Buddha. We do not think that anybody is less capable or more capable of doing something. Nobody is. We are all gurus, and every the will, the right to change our life as in now is all within us. So for our this the whole Nichiren Buddhism premises around your own human revolution first. And if you take the charge of your own revolution, human revolution, it's like a ripple effect. It'll affect your family, it'll affect your community, it'll affect the country you live in, then the world eventually. And we do lots and lots of peace proposals. I devoted 2 years of my life after my stroke in 2015 to kind of just work for Soka Gakkai, and that kind of got me into counseling because we were a set of 4 or 5 people working together. So Nichiren Buddhism basically is it's based on a mantra called Namyo Horenge Kyo. I surrender to the law of cause and effect, and I will make the changes in my life, and I will take charge of it. We kind of always look at the happy
Okay.
state. No matter what circumstances, we've got to look at the happy state. We are one with our environment, and that is what leads me to. I mean, I can't be sitting at home and not doing anything, and it it makes things happen around you. Once you are one with the person next in front of you, you're not thinking he's a lesser person. Um, my husband once asked in the meeting, so if a rapist comes in, is he the same? Does he deserve the same amount of respect as you do? And now I've worked with some inmates now, and for me to get out that compassion from my heart to talk to a rapist, and I have extremely strong feelings about pedophiles sometimes and issues like that, and to put them on one side and think of the person in front of me as a Buddha. He's an amalgamation of his own karmic attribution or his own circumstances, his life instances, and have that compassion in my mind and work one with him. And that kind of we're coming to the present situation that's happening as well. I get lots and lots of people like Sangeeta yourself, they will call in and say we need the remdesivir now, and or we need the oxygen bed now. Your oxygen is 95 and it's dipping. I understand that, and I have to have compassion for that. Sometimes I think, okay, I've got this other patient, they're 78, dipping, oxygen. But you've got to have compassion. There might be some others. So once you've got the compassion in your heart, I find out that that lady is actually needed palliative care as well. She's a cancer patient, which she wasn't telling me. So we had to then get one of my doctor's friends' help, and we had to get those people involved in it. And she was transferred to a different city here at the same time. So I think Nichiren Buddhism, myself, one with the environment, all of this, everything is so wedded together. This is a very, very crucial time, Sneha. We've got to put everything that we've got into practice now. We do it now and we do it quick. And whatever is in our capacity, if you can give 5 minutes to us, please come and give 5 minutes to us. You can give 5 minutes to your next door neighbor, please go and do that. You can make a curry and send it to them, a soup, do it. You can help them with whatever you conveniently can. It will make a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. So helping each other in these times is most important. A little help, like cooking something and sending it to your ailing neighbor, would also help. At this point, we will need to take a quick break. Ritika and Sangeeta will be right back. So stay tuned. And audience, please don't go anywhere. We still have a lot of conversation left.
Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well in these times. Around 1 in 3 people have got COVID-19 without even realising, with no symptoms, which is easily being spread through our community, our friends and family. As restrictions ease, there's a free rapid test which is taken twice a week to help and prevent the spread of coronavirus. Millions of people are taking part across the UK, and it's our responsibility right now to be part of that.
I've been searching for a long time to find somewhere to be mine.
If only finding the one you really want was as easy as with the Mercedes-Benz online showroom. Compare every fully electric car in stock, including the new EQA, now available with Click and Collect. Search Mercedes-Benz online showroom today.
Have you heard about the Vinted app? I'm a big fan. Let me show you why. So this was my room before, and this is after Vinted. Have a go at selling the clothes you don't wear anymore in no time and turning them into cash. And you have the chance to sell to Vinted's entire member community across the UK. Selling on Vinted is easy. Just snap, upload your item and set your price. Best of all, on Vinted there are no selling fees, so you keep everything you make. Download the Vinted app today. Don't wear it, sell it.
I'm not confused, but this guy's been sucked in by the allure of the wave. A wave that was actually meant for Maeve. Things aren't always as clear as they seem. I'm not confused. I'm confused.com.
When it comes to equity release, we all have questions. How much, for instance, could we release? And where can we get some advice we can trust? So it's good to know with Key it's easy to get the answers you need by ordering Key's free expert guide on 0800 422 0800 or using our free online calculator to see how much you could release. All Key's advice is free of charge, so finding out if equity release is right for you won't cost you a penny. Key, equity release that's right for you.
It's time to spread some more joy with our June draws.
Oh my God!
It's your ticket to a share of £4.1 million.
How does this make you feel?
It's life-changing. Life-changing.
Join before midnight on the 20th of May for the chance to win.
I'm thinking of all the really practical things that we need, like we need a new fridge and we need a new oven.
Boring.
Boring.
Someone's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell.
When Fatima arrived at hospital, she was too weak to even stand. But with urgent treatment and nutritious food, this is Fatima just days later. That's how fast a child can recover from severe malnutrition if they receive the food and medicine they need in time. That's what your £2 today could do. This is the land where Fatima's family now live since drought forced them to leave their home. But with your help, this is how families all over the world are transforming their land and their lives. with different types of seeds and new farming practices. This is what your £2 today could do. Please will you call 0800 055 7239 today to give just £2 a month. At Save the Children, we see how each donation adds up to something amazing. Children, happy and healthy because their parents can grow the food they need to thrive. That is what someone's £2 helped achieve. Imagine what yours could do. Please call 0800 055 7239 or visit our website.
Welcome back, friends. We are discussing really, really important stuff about helping others, helping our community people, or maybe people who we are not even working with, and even if we do not even know them, how can we help them through our inner, willpower of sheer helping attitude and things like that. And very, very warm welcome to you again to the show, Nari to Narayani. We were with Ritika and she was explaining about Nichiren Buddhism, and she did explain that there is a domino effect wherein if we start off with ourselves and then we can focus on community and probably the country and then the whole world. Ritika, this was a pretty technical information. We would like to get a quick gist about how can we go about helping people through this.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. For example, somebody needs in the current scenario, somebody needs a very, very quick medication, right? You do not have the resources to get them a plasma or a remdesivir or a steroid that they need right there and then. However, you do have the phone in your hands and you could make a few calls like what Sangeeta's team is doing and our teams are doing. You could then pitch in and help them. They're in a panic mode at that point in time. A little bit of support at that time, you could just help them with one particular thing. The ripple effect that I talk about is that has then given that calm of that 5 minutes, and they have then been able to concentrate on the oxygen, for example, and then looked at that, and then it's helping one person at a time. Now that one person has then gone on to help 5 other people once they've recovered, which they will if they have the right support. There's no reason why you can't recover from COVID-19. 80% of the people are recovering very well, and it is positive news. A lot of negative news is coming out. It's all positive news. So once you're helping one person and then it's going on, it's having a bigger effect. He's going and donating plasma to someone else. He's then in the hospital and he's helping someone else with the information that you've been able to give them. So this is in this particular context. The ripple effect that I talk about in the other affairs of my life that I've been very effective with, invisible illness, caring for chronic patients. Again, that's you help one person at one particular time. It helps their family. The family is a bit more stable. There's less juvenile behavior coming out of a family because there is a bit more stability. You are not judging that person. You are giving that support at the ground level, like the psychologists in Sangeeta's team do. That has an effect in their family, their community, their church, their temple, and then people come together by compassion and by kindness, and that making that one effort. My mother always says this: everybody does their 100%. It's that 101% that you've done for someone or a cause or a thing that takes you that extra step. At that 101% you've done for that one person in that crisis period of time will have a ripple effect. And trust me, you will say this to me, I've done this for so many people. I feel in that place. I've started so many groups some 5-6 years ago in England, and it's a baby, it's reached a point and they are taking care of themselves, and then I'm like, I've done so much for them, but no, I'm alone over here. No, Cosmos never keeps anybody's debt. it will come back to you in some way, shape, or form. It came to me, a cylinder that was delivered to my home in magic, and it will happen. Yes, there's a spiritual side to it, there's a metaphysical, there's a practical side to it as well. When we are helping and doing that one deed, we are then going on and making a cause for another, and the community is secure this way. And that's the vision that I have.
Absolutely. Actually, you're absolutely right. You need to have that hope within yourself and that positive attitude with which you can not just recover yourself, at least mentally, and you can also help others because you yourself are mm, healthy from within. So you'll be able to provide help to others as well. Absolutely.
When you
So
light
now
a
moving on
lamp
to
for someone, sorry,
go ahead,
just
yeah.
very quickly, when you in our practice, they always say, when you light a lamp for someone in your darkest hour, be assured that there will be light for you in your, for you in the future as well. When you are the lowest, and also that has some sort of a chemical thing that happens in your brain, you then not focusing on your own problem at that point in time. With my oxygen being 70 to 78, I was still talking to people, I was still, and my friends are upset with me, and I'm like, no, it got my mind off from my illness onto others, helping others. So there is some kind of, my healing was much quicker. I don't know if I can make sense of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're distracting your mind from that illness towards something good, something better, something positive, which is creating a positive impact in others' life. So absolutely right. And I could relate to this as well. And when you said that, as in you were saying that, if you do good, it will come back to you. So it's a famous saying, what goes around comes around. So spread happiness, do good, and it will come to you
And
as well.
Sneha, you were working through your illness as well.
Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. Sangeeta, moving on to you. You must have also, as in Ritika has mentioned about her illness, and we have also, as in she has mentioned about mine as well. So we, all of us, have got a lot of issues with COVID. I've just recovered. She's still recovering. She's a fighter. You must have also had a lot of hurdles and challenges in your life, right? So what is your attitude towards it, and how have you overcome it?
I've, what can I say? You will not believe if I tell you that I've gone through something in my life that maybe 10 people go through. I've gone through all of those things in my life. Like, it's just been terrible, but that's a long topic. That's another topic. Maybe we can have another session on that next time. But yeah, no, the homes, housework, businesses not doing well, businesses closing down during this lockdown time. It's been really tough on all of us, like adjusting your finances, trying to help others, having family abroad. Their issues come in, and then that affects you as well. And so, but you know what? The best thing that I feel is that I'm literally putting my 24/7 into helping COVID patients, and that just takes my mind off my issues, my problems. Like, I never focus on my problems. I just move ahead and just get on with it and just try and help somebody else, and that just gives me joy and happiness.
When you say that you try to join happiness, or how exactly do you do? Is it just about helping others like Ritika has been doing, or do you follow some other means, or is it some kind of faith like Ritika has been following? What exactly is it for you?
Yeah, I'm a very spiritual person myself, and I do follow the teachings of the Bible, and I learn a lot from it. It gives me a lot of strength. Like I have these conversations with God, so it keeps me going, keeps me motivated, and I'm quite intuitive as well. So I just get my motivation from God, really. He's the one who pushes me, keeps me going, keeps me helping other people, and everything else is just secondary. Just that focus is enough.
Yes, absolutely. So there has to be one superpower. May it be within you, like Ritika mentioned, or may it be Bible, or may it be God, be it some kind of guru. One thing at least you should have in your life to which you can look up to and follow your heart after speaking to them. They could be intangible, they could be tangible, they could be in your head. But yes, that helps us keep going. Absolutely.
That's
So,
right. That's right. I think one anchor. I think, like, people
yeah.
need an anchor. So something to just go towards and just keep on going and keep on fighting and just overcoming all your hurdles and obstacles. An anchor.
And it could be
Yes.
family as well. Absolutely, it could be family as well, right? It could be our
Yes.
parents, it could be our partners. Ritika has been talking a lot about her mother. And mothers, even fathers, as in parents, they are that invisible force that actually, it acts as a catalyst in our life. So whatever we do, it is an outcome of the upbringing or the kind of ecosystem we have been into. Ritika has been talking a lot about ecosystem as well. So now let's move to Ritika. Ritika, you covered a lot about support and support that you and ladies like you and Sangeeta have been providing, and the support you've been getting from your mother. But you did mention that right after your marriage, within 15 days or so, you got that paralytic attack, right? So, from what I understand, your husband's role has been instrumental. It's been vital in your journey through the diseases and the life you've been leading. So, what role does a
I'm so
spouse
happy
has,
he's
and
not
what?
in the room right now because he's going. I'm going to say
Okay.
something very nice, and I don't want his head to go like that. He set up this whole IT thing for me, and he's gone out. Okay. My mom is my mentor, and my husband is my backbone. My backbone in reality has scoliosis in it. It has got multiple issues. Uh, but my real backbone, my support is my husband. And God, what a man he is. You newly wed and you want to look the best for your husband, and there he was running back from St. Albans, taking me to the toilet, taking me, you and my mother gave him a chance. My mother told him, this is too soon, your relationship's gonna go backwards, you won't be able to flourish in a marriage like this. Send my daughter back to India. She'll be okay in a while. We'll get her okay, and then you guys do a proper wedding and then come back. And he basically turned around to his father, and him turned around and said, she's ours now. If you take her, we'll do a police case on you. She's not going anywhere. And he stood by me. I've had infertility issues. He's from a Marwari family, as you can understand the pressures that he and his father would have had. I've not once had that pressure put on me. So from so many points, it's so silly not to talk of him right at the start. And thank you for mentioning it. But he's me. I'm him. We're together. Even if we go separate ways in our life ever, if that happens, if I let him, or he lets me, but if that happens, it's okay. Souls are united. You've got to have the common purpose. You've got to, when you're looking at the bigger good, and that was one thing that was common with him and me. When I married him, he was studying similarities of religion. And he feels very strongly about karma dharma. Karma is your main dharma. Your karma is your main motivating factor. What you do is right, then everything else falls in place. And I have to also congratulate you, Sneha, because you're beautifully binding the whole interview. Hope is the start. And I think the middle bit, the main bit, which Sangeeta has mentioned, is faith. And when we counsel a lot of our patients, whatever faith you've got, whatever belief system you've got around you, we do not want to rattle that. At this point in time, hang on tight to it. Chant that mantra. Listen to that bhajan. Do what you want to do. Keep your faith strong. That's your inner being strong. But remember, you can make a change, and you will. And you've done this interview in such a beautiful, so it's hope, faith, and you need to have courage to do that.
My pleasure. So, Ritika, you've also mentioned that he's your backbone. You are him, he is you. It is really beautifully mentioned. Some of the couples out there, they need to listen to this. Time never remains same, right? Sometime there would be time in your life as well when you were ailing, he would be ailing as well. It could be physically, it could be a mental fatigue, it could be anything, right? You need to be together for each other and you need to believe in each other, right? So when you, and it's hats off to him because you were just 15 days into your marriage, you wouldn't have established that kind of a bond for each other, and he took whole soul responsibility about for you, and you had that confidence in him that a mother who you treat as your mentor, you still um, went ahead with your husband and let him take care of you. So this is a kind of force that comes from, that plays its role from both sides. So well done, hats off to you and your husband as well. Pay my regards to him as well.
He's
This
just
and you
entered the
also
room
mentioned.
and now he's listening to all the good things.
Okay, so we will now stop talking about him. You should not, get that banter later on. So, moving on to Sangeeta. Sangeeta, Ritika has covered a lot of things about staying positive and chanting the mantras. You've also mentioned about focusing on one superpower, following the Bible and other things. But when you see wrongdoings happening around you and with you, because your life has been through a roller coaster and not just one, a lot of them, and some really unfortunate stuff has happened with you as well. So, how do you keep yourself positive and those around you, your family? You've got children, you've got daughters, right? So, how does that force in you comes into play?
Yeah, so I, from the beginning, have been a very positive person. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in positive thinking. So when I, lost my husband, that was one thing that kept me going. We were really much into the law of attraction. We were teaching people, we were holding seminars, and amidst all that, that's when I lost him. And but I can remember that I just had some hope within me. I knew that everything was going to be okay. Just that sense of knowing that the universe is there, something is there, and that it's going to guide you through and it's going to get you through. And I've just been on that trip ever since. Like, I've had so many other things happening in my life, but that's what, if there is no religion, if people are not religious, if they don't believe in God, or but know that the law of attraction works, good for bad. It does work. So do good, attract positivity, attract goodness, and it just shows back in your life. Like Kritika said, the karma comes back. And that's exactly what happened. So just keep doing good, be positive, and focus on your goals.
Really sorry to hear that, Sangeeta. So there are people like you, and there are people like Ritika and her husband as well. So it is indeed very difficult, and especially I will also relate it with these times as well, to lose a dear one, right? So you said that you've been dealing it with positivity from your inner strength because you've been a positive person through and through, right? Ritika, we would like to know how, especially in present times, and you just like that usually, how should we go about losing a dear one? Ritika, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Have we? Yeah. So
Hi.
I wanted to know. Yeah. I wanted to know
Yes, I
about.
heard the
Have you heard the
question. Um, I personally had not dealt with a major loss in my life till this COVID scenario started, and I did not know how immensely it would affect me. No doubt, in the last 2 years, I'm dealing with that reality every morning that I wake up, because there is like an end date to my mom's life somewhere, stage 4, and how do I condition my mind? There is a writer, and Sangeeta talked about it, and there was a phase I went through in the 90s with the positivity spring that was coming in from US. It was There was a writer called Norman Vincent Peale. He used to talk about positive visualization. When you've had a loss, none of that works. you know, um, which the only way I felt is come back to my center with my faith, my chant, and not lose faith that there is a divine purpose in everything. And it is so difficult to say that, and I don't know how I'm going to deal with it when mom's gone, because it's a reality. We talk about it all the time, but one thing is for sure, that loss has to be worth something. Do not make your loved one's loss be for nothing, like Sangeeta's done. She's vested all her energy into what she was doing together with her husband, and I just had goosebumps when I was listening to her. How will I deal with it? I don't know, but I'm now dealing with it. I've lost 3 people in 3 weeks, and when I lost them, 20 minutes later, I was on the phone trying to arrange for a plasma for a dying person, and I said to my friend who lost her mother, and then she lost her father, and I talked to her on the FaceTime in Bangalore, and she's such a strong woman, such a feisty Narayani woman, like you say, Durga. And I said, she's looking at me. She's like, "Why are you crying?" She says, "I'm okay. I'm content. I did my 101% for my parents, and everything will be okay." And I turned around and I said, "She's showing so much strength. There is so much loss happening." Put the phone down. I started a parallel group, and I've started sourcing, like you doing oxygen concentrators and appliances and things for NGOs, doing collaborations. The next morning, I was on the phone with 50 people, and I'm like, you know what? I won't take the name of my friend, so I'll say X. You know what, my sweet X. I dedicate this to next 1 week to your mom and your dad. So loss, in a way, maybe it's the way to deal with it is let it sink in as well. When it's a very personal loss, it's okay to grieve. If you do not grieve, you're not being human, and somewhere or the other it'll start then having a cascading effect in your real life. And I can see a very, very balanced Sangeeta now, and she would have had to grieve as well. The only way I felt loss in my personal life is every time I got a diagnosis. Like 2012, I got the diagnosis that I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is an invisible illness. It's a Caucasian illness. I mean, trust my grandparents to be naughty, and they probably got it from abroad, and they gave it to me in my genes. Me and my husband, we sat outside St. John's Wood, and we had all this. Remember those big MRIs we used to carry at that time? And I had all of them, and we went to a champagne bar right after. And we said, "Oh, fine, great, we know what we've got to deal with." But it was a big loss that I knew I wouldn't be able to live the life that I thought that I was going to live. I'm going to be disabled for the rest of my life.
Yeah. A loss can be in any form. And absolutely, like Ritika,
and so,
you covered that as well, that it could be your dear one or your own dreams. Since we are nearing the end of the show, I would like to have a quick one-line message from both of you. I'll start off with you, Sangeeta. Quick one line about an advice to the women out there, how to deal with the current circumstances and pull themselves together.
Right. I actually have something written down for this question. So, have you ever heard of the quote, "Be the woman who fixes another woman's crown without telling the world that it was crooked"? I think we all should do that, have each other's backs, and keep on going.
That's sisterhood, definitely. That's a great message. Over to you, Ritika. One message to all the ladies out there, or probably everyone, not just me.
yes, ladies, men, all together. There's a small 2 lines that I like to say, which is from a passage from our Buddhist practice. Our sensei says, "Just as flowers open up and bear fruits, just as the moon appears invariably grows full, just as a lamp becomes brighter when oil is added, and just as plants and trees flourish with rain, so will human beings never fail to prosper when they make good causes." When you're one with the environment and you're making good causes, there's no stopping us. This COVID is going to be out of the window.
Wonderful, wonderful. Both of you. I'm really overwhelmed with the kind of conversation we've had together. And I'm really grateful that we've met you and we've got all this information and this kind of a positive energy from both of you. So thanks a lot for being with us today. Thank you, Ritika. Thanks a lot, Sangeeta. Keep doing the great work and keep inspiring. Be safe and just be happy. And to our audience out there, people, stay together, pull yourself together, be positive, keep helping others, keep safe, and we'll see you later. Thanks a lot for being there with us today. Have a nice day.